why the hell does she keep coming back here? I know, I'm asking myself the same question. But here we are again. So, for those who haven't met me, my name is Lorraine Heistad, author to the book Homecoming, which I call, lovingly, sometimes not so much, I call it my biblical entanglement. Of course it's my biblical entanglement. I have been pulled into biblical prophecy since 2012. I've written about it, I've talked about it, I've had many videos when I've actually worked through every single chapter in that book, and I keep coming back for a few more. It's like this is like a PS moment, because I don't know what to call them anymore. Over a month ago I came on and said, okay, this isn't an encore, but here, I've got one more thing to say. And not that long ago, a few days ago, I was on here and I was like, okay, today is an encore. Today's a PS, I guess. Why do I keep coming back? Because I'm guided to. So, I think it was the last chapter that I was reading, or the last video I did, I guess it was. I was on here and I was explaining how I've been going through all my chapters. Now, a few things happened today. First is that I was on chapter 61. It's called Miracles and Other Wonders. Yeah, it was. Because there's a few things that played out today. One being, when I was listening to myself, I realized that I said the final countdown had begun as I started to read the last 10 chapters. And then as I was finishing that up, also the realization that it had also been 10 years since the big day in the valley. That one. But anyways, I said the final countdown has started. And that wasn't the first time I've said that. There's actually a couple instances I've said that. I said that when I wrote the first book, which was January 17th, 2014, when I published that, and then reformatted it and put it out in 2018. Okay. The second time I said that was just before I hit print on Mastering Your SOULworks. And this is what came to my awareness today, is that I had said that before, and I was listening to myself say the countdown is on. And so I went back to see what day I said the countdown began. Final one. And it was on January 6th, 2022. And today, July 18th, 2025, when that was brought to my awareness. And do you know what that is? 1,290 days. Now, I've been in biblical loops for quite a while, actually. So to me, it's hardly a big deal that I've seen that revolution come back around, except that I want out of it. I want to step away from that story. And I was pondering how I do that today, I guess. Because in my mind, I already did 30 days ago, when I went with All She Wrote. And then I came back back on and explained that that's not all I wrote. There's still more in there. It's true. So what the heck's going on with me? And why would my soul be called to speak again exactly 1,290 days since when I said the countdown begins? Final countdown of when I finally and fully stood up for myself. And what would that look like? To come and declare one more time that I know I fulfilled prophecy? No, I've done that already. I've done that already. To herald that we've moved into a new time? I've done that already too. To admit that I know that I am the messenger of change prophesied about? I've already said that. To say that I'm willing to put my stuff out there and yet move on with my life? I've said that too. So why would I come on here today as guided? The other thing that happened when I was re-listening to my Miracles and Other Wonders was that it was talking about having different personalities held within that actually have different health conditions depending on which story they're aligning with. Which is interesting because today I was also at the doctor dealing with my ever beating heart issues. Heart murmur, left branch bundle blockage, a couple minor heart attacks under my belt, heart bothering me again. And I always know that when my heart is bothering me, something's not quite in alignment with my soul, that I haven't quite stepped into exactly what I need to yet, or finished something, or crossed that line, finish line. Anyways, in the chapter I talked about sometimes you can have even a heart murmur based on past experiences and aligning to that personality more than another. Which made me realize something really important today. Now I've even admitted that I know that the visions that I've had to work through all of this has been to help me transcend the past, and that the visions have been based on how things happened last time around. And I also know that probably at this point I would have been on the run in past life while false teachings began to surface. Minimizing our soul potential became the forefront. So it's clear to me I'm not to run. And it's clear to me I'm to be here today. What's not clear to me is what it means. I usually don't figure that out until it's over, But what I realized today while I was working through trying to heal my heart once again and knowing that I crave change, what was clear to me is that maybe my heart hurts because I'm expecting the same thing to happen again. Even though logically I can say, oh, Lorraine, but you already documented your story and you've already written it, you've already put it out there, you've already worked through, so the same thing isn't going to happen again. Well, I can't say that for sure, I guess. What I know today is that I'm here once again, willing to face the world, to help bring closure to the biblical era, to acknowledge that I am a messenger of that time, but that it is not to signal myself out as something special or beyond what others can achieve. I know that this time heralds many light workers across the globe, clear across the globe, in a very heart-centered, aware space to help bring change into being, and that I don't want to run away. I want to step into that change. And I know that's going to take a whole lot of faith in myself and all others. I can do that. I can do that. I can have faith in us. Anyways, I'm going to set down the personalities from the past because I know that I have been working through and helping to channel that information through as a past life of mine. But I'm here in this time as Lorraine Heistad. And I kind of have faith in us, in the world, and our capacity to shift gears. So what is next for me then? Well, I'm going to welcome myself and everyone else home to that divine light within us all. I'm going to spend the last days on earth celebrating what I know that we have accomplished. And yeah, I'm coming here online to make my public declaration that I know I have fulfilled the prophecy, start to finish. And see? And I mean it this time. We're done with the old story. I am done with the old story. So I'm asking the world, my higher self, and all those conscious co-creators in this world to allow ourselves to cross that road. I have a new painting back here. I work on paintings while I'm working through things, and this one in particular was to represent when I finally get my reprieve. I'm still waiting on that reprieve, but to me the reprieve just means finally knowing that the old story is done. It is for me, because I'm not going down that road anymore. This one, new location. Beautiful artwork from a puzzle I did. It's of a phoenix rising. A phoenix rising in the northern lights. Which reminds me of some piece in my book, which I should be able to find, but I have to even figure out which book it's in. Give me a brief second. I was just wondering why I would reread this a second time. Well, I guess probably because I don't want it to get lost in the middle. Maybe I'm not going to be able to find it. I am honored. I am absolutely honored to share this collective journey with you, and I am humbly most thankful for the opportunity to finally and officially introduce myself. Sorry, they have me skipping. Isn't that interesting? I worked so hard to find this page, you know? My name is Lorraine Heistad. I am an adept teacher of the spiritual arts, intuitive healer, visionary, bringer of truth, self-proclaimed messenger of change, conscious co-creator, and a divinely appointed, prophecy-fulfilling woman in motion. I am a divine force of love, seeing beyond the shadows of all time. I am undefinable, unarchetypable, and truly unstoppable in my passion to create change. I am. I dare you to be as well. Welcome home.